All right, we are talking about the North Wilkesboro weekend for both the All-Star race and the Truck Series race here. I will be talking about certain drivers, but this is more so just talking about how I want to approach this weekend very fast. I will be out of town this weekend. I'll be in Louisiana. I still plan on doing NASCAR DFS, so I don't see any reason why I won't be uploading projections or anything, but clearly no live show. I won't be pulling any data, anything like that. I will also be out of town the first week of June. I'll be in Dallas for DreamHack, so I can go watch some Counter Strike and some LOL and some Super Smash Bro and whatever else they're gonna be having over there. I'll be there all 3 days. So if you're in Dallas and you're going to DreamHack, feel free to say hello if you go there. Anyway, let's talk about North Wilkesboro in general. Now, first and foremost, let's get out. Yes, this is really cool. They brought back the track. I'm not being a hater. I'm not drinking haterade over here, all right? I'm not trying to come across as a guy who just complains all the time, all right? That's just how I'm looking at it. Okay, but yes, clearly I'm not going like knee deep in the weeds of like, well, let's watch the 1992 Cup Series race. I'm not doing that, but I have been watching the practice and the races that they have been having this week so far. What is today? Thursday. On Tuesday, super late models started tearing up a bit of the track on the entry of turn one on the outside. I watched all three races last night just with some buddies kind of goofing around watching things along that nature. And let's just say, well, let's call a spade, okay? This track produces racing that you will find at, Hickory or any other, local short track. That's kind of a faster one, flatter track, things of that nature. It's a race to where I believe expectations are being elevated uh, to a percentage that leaves for a lot of disappointment. Look, yes, as I just said, it's cool this track's coming back. It's cool that the racing's gonna be there. This All-Star race is gonna fucking suck ass, dude. I hate to tell you that, but like, pay attention to how these guys are racing this weekend. This week is gonna fucking suck some dick. If you like passing, if you enjoy close racing, if you enjoy hard racing, I mean, I don't know if this is the race for you, dog. If you look at how the track has been reworked, everybody has been chasing the sealant and the bit of the repaved pavement on the entry, not even on the entry, on the entirety of turn 3 and 4. Okay, so if you look, the outside is non-existent. Okay, we saw it multiple times in both corners. People would try and try and get a run on the outside, do a late entry, whatever the case may be. You would just get fucking slaughtered by the car in the inside lane. I think that might be even more apparent with the next gen car. I think we're going to see a lot of people trying to either, if they're not getting their left rear on that asphalt, we're seeing that a lot of guys are actually trying to get their right rear on the asphalt and have the right rear on the asphalt and have that left rear on that concrete in 3 and 4 launch them off on that straightaway. And so I think it's just going to be a battle for getting to the bottom. There was concerns about that from the Truck Series guys earlier in the week when they went there and kind of walked the track more and more. But just looking at how the rest of the racing has been this weekend, I'm seeing a single file train. Okay, you can only make a pass on the restarts and if you move somebody. But I would not be shocked if we see in this 200 lap event on the All-Star, which let's just say right now, your Sunday, I hope you don't work on Monday. I hope you don't plan on going to work or anything on Monday because this is going to be a late night. Now, granted, NASCAR is counting caution laps, but that 200 laps is long. It is a long race. This might go down as one of the longest All-Star races in history. But anyway, so once we get that out of the way, when we look at the drivers that I want to consider for the All-Star race, William Byron is at the top of the list, and that's not because he ran second all day to, what the hell is that dude's freaking name? Buttermilk? Butterbean? Oh my lord. Anyway, in the Wednesday's event, with him and Chase Elliott running second place, second and third in the whatever fucking race it was. Don't remember, not important. Anyway, I would look specifically at Richmond. Look, Richmond, high wear racetrack. Okay, if everybody wants to go on that, I mean, this is like this asphalt's older than me, and than a majority of people that even have an idea of what NASCAR is. Okay, so yes, that's huge. There is really no part of this track that's smooth outside of the repaves. It's so funny because you're seeing all the drivers chase after the repaves positions on the straightaways, on the corners. That's what they're absolutely going for. I would not be shocked to see them absolutely repave this son of a bitch right after this race is over, because these Cup cars are heavy. They're going to be dragging against this stuff. We're seeing there's 2 points of contention, and it not only is the asphalt 3 and 4 what people are going to be chasing off of, but you'd look and see that giant jump pretty much in the center of 3 and 4 that upsets the rear end of the cars, and then you have the huge bump entering 1, pretty much right where the transition between the angled front straightaway meets the corner. You're seeing that pretty much every car is being affected by that, so I would not be shocked to see even the trucks or the Cup Series cars start causing damage to the asphalt, and we see a delay or something along those lines. But anyway, going back to DFS talk and stuff like that, Richmond would be my absolute priority when we're looking at a track that you want to base projections off of. If you want to have an idea of where people are, clearly, look at practice. There's several people out there I know abnormally distributed pools data as well, and several other guys that you don't have to pay for. But trust practice speed and trust Richmond. That's kind of where I'm at. Phoenix is a bit too fast for me to really want to consider. A little too many variables at Phoenix. I'm perfectly fine with trusting Richmond. I think a lot of similarities are going to be found at Richmond and this track this week. And so when we look at Richmond really fast, who was fast at Richmond? Who are the people that we want to target at Richmond? Well, as I said, William Byron has been on fire. The guy has been absolutely killer. Okay, the second guy that's been absolutely killer on fire, Kyle Larson. I would look at Chase Elliott to be fast as well. He did not run Richmond, but based on how he's performed at short tracks, based on how he's performed at Richmond specifically, I'm perfectly fine going to Chase Elliott. I'm sure the Toyotas are going to be there, but look, we are chasing Hendrick, and if you guys are not playing William Byron at this point, I don't know what we're doing. Okay, I've been busy packing and stuff like that, but look, if I was a DJ, I would just be coming off of the last song, talking to you, telling you that, hey, you just, so-and-so broadcasting live out of Houston, Texas, blah, blah, blah. That was Skin of My Teeth by Megadeth, because I've had no right to be cashing and making as much money as I had the last couple weekends playing Larson and Byron nearly 100%. But just keep fucking rocking and rolling with William Byron. Chastain should be in contention. I think Bell and Harvick are probably the next contenders that I would look at. Those are pretty much the focal points and the drivers I would really want to focus on. If Ryan Preece can make his way in through the Open, I'm okay with that. Josh Berry, I'm okay with that. But I'm telling you, the primary drivers that you want to target for the Cup Series is Byron, Larson, Ross Chastain, probably Bell, Harvick, Truex, and Hamlin in that order. Those would be the priorities for me when I'm looking at the All-Star race at Richmond. Now, we do have a smaller contest this weekend. Now, we also have to remember that we do have the soda fountain, next weekend. I'm sure the entry fee is $600, but we typically have a pretty big contest in the 15 in general for the Coca-Cola 600. That's kind of why we see this week's contest being just 15,000 people, with 50,000 being paid out to first, which is absolute horse manure. That is terrible. That's a terrible payout. Even the Truck Series is only $8,000, and so I'm not expecting just a ton of passing for the All-Star race, and I would not be shocked if this track not necessarily ends in disaster, but I think people need to realize that this is not going to be the greatest racing spectacle in general. We are going to see trains. Okay, we're going to see a lot of single file. We're going to see probably one, if not two leaders. I mean, that's basically it. I would not be shocked to see whoever starts up front who's shown just a ton of speed through everything, who starts in top 4, just run away with this race. I think we're going to see, there's a real chance, because the next gen car doesn't necessarily like bumps a lot. There's a real chance we see a lot of teams struggle. We see a lot of teams, kind of just bottom out and just go straight on the entry of the corner, and really have to work on staying up for the entries, just with how all the bumps are. I think that's going to be a huge thing with this next gen car. That's mainly it for the Cup Series stuff. I would honestly play pretty light. Enjoy it. Watch the broadcast. Watch the All-Star race. Being happy that we're back at North Wilkesboro. That's awesome that the track came back and didn't die or anything. But man, in terms of good racing, I think we're just going to see a regular short track, which doesn't have a lot of pass in general. And then, what's that? The next gen package sucks at short tracks. Yeah, so like 1 to 2 lap leaders. That's really my opinion on these guys here. Now, when we look at the truck series, okay, these are. Yes, I know we've had a lot of drivers either in different races this week. Corey Heim, host of our, shout out to Garrett Smithley for running last in nearly everything he ran this weekend. But in terms of drivers to attack and focus on for the truck series, Ty Majeski, and not just because he ran the cars or super late model race, whatever it was, but I think Majeski not only I actually do think that, I know they look, even William Byron was like, yeah, I haven't been in a late model in a long time. Some other guys have been this as well, yada yada yada. The track time is going to be huge. I think Majeski being on the track as much as he has been this week, and actually being a good driver, is huge. I think Majeski is probably the favorite, in my opinion, entering this race for the truck series. Zane Smith, Ben Rhodes would probably be next for me. Those are probably the people I want to focus on based on just history, looking at short tracks in general. We're seeing that Eckes has been incredibly fast. You need to start playing more Eckes. That's just what it is here. 1.5 is what the case may be. Nicholas, Corey Heim. I mean, it's clearly the same guys that we've been playing week in and week out and stuff. But going back to where I'm at for the Cup Series, with having pretty much one guy just run away with it, I think it's going to be that, if not more, for the Truck Series. We might have 2 or 3 guys kind of battling it out, but for the most part, I think we're going to see a lot of people off pace. We're going to see a lot of people struggle. We see that the Truck Series specifically really struggles. I mean, just every track is high wear now, but when you go to the more extreme race tracks with high wear and certain characteristics and stuff like that, that's typically where we see a huge disparity between what the field can do in terms of speed, in terms of equipment, and things like that. I would lean towards not chasing place differential for your value guys, and just playing the people who are showing speed in queue and practice. I don't necessarily want to, play a ton of Spencer Boyd starting 33rd or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to play G2G, specifically coming off their fine. I just don't want to deal with that. I really don't. I really don't see the point of playing, super cheap guys who have truly no upside. Even if this race turns into a survival situation, I just don't see it. And so when I'm looking at, and also that's not even including the Cup Series guys in this truck race. But like Hackert, I don't want to play. I don't want to play AO. Brett Holmes, Lawless Allen. These guys are going to absolutely struggle. So you have Larson, Byron, Bell, Chastain in this truck race. Which, yet again, Larson and Byron, my favorites for Sunday, who I would want to target for Sunday. Who has had the most on-track time this week? It's been William Byron. But Larson, Byron, gonna get track time in an actual Cup Series race, or in an actual Truck Series race. Sorry, I'm kind of over the place. I'm watching the the CS:GO major in Paris right now. um, Larson, Byron Bell. I'm kind of feeling like neither of these guys win the race. They're priced softly enough to where you could very easily get to them, and they can not win the race and not kill you. But I just kind of like Zane Smith. I kind of like Corey Heim. I really do. That's just kind of where I'm at. But clearly, if Larson, Byron, Bell, if they start up front, which they probably will, you have to project them to lead. Whatever the case may be, I think this is a week you play light. Just have fun being back here. Have fun watching. But at the same time, understand what you're going to walk into and see. And don't go on Twitter on Sunday night and be like, no, that race sucked. That was kind of a boring race. Because, yeah, racing is boring. I hate to tell you this. But motorsports, it's a boring, boring time. Yeah, that's mainly it, man. Play light. Pay attention that who is able to put their car the lowest in practice in 3 and 4. I think that is absolutely who's going to win the race, because everybody's kind of just surviving turns 1 and 2 coming down the hill. You see a lot of people kind of have a late entry. They kind of push up. You can just look at the rubber marks of where these guys are landed, and they have a pretty tight exit out of 2. But it's whoever can manage 3 and 4 and lap traffic. But whoever's the best in 3 and 4, play that guy. Play those guys in both races, because that's where the race is going to be decided. That's where you gain the most speed, and it's because you're getting the grip strip that NASCAR put down. So it's 3 and 4. Set the car for 3 and 4. Watch 3 and 4, and then just survive 1 and 2. That's all I'm looking at. That's all I would focus on. And just enjoy the fact that this track is back. Enjoy the history. But just be aware that this race is gonna be pretty terrible. And I will see you guys when I'm back in town. You can always still tweet at me if you're in Discord. Feel free to keep talking with me and stuff. But I'll be out of town this weekend. So enjoy the race, I guess, and I'll see you guys later.